Hello, my wonderful friends. It's time again for another story, a Neckbeard tale from Neckbeard Stories. I actually thought I was on Tales of Neckbeards and I was gonna do a thing about it, but I'm not. Just kind of ruined my own joke there. Anyway, this is from Reddit user, well, nobody. They deleted their account, so I guess we can't do that, but let's continue anyway. This is High School Neckbeard eats ungodly amounts of ramen, preaches nihilistic philosophy, and plays with katanas. It's a heck of a title. Recently, I've been watching RedX's Neckbeard videos. So have I. Hi, RedX. And that inspired me to tell the tale of my Neckbeard classmate in high school. We'll call him Richard. It's not his real name, but I think it fits him pretty well. Richard was certainly strange, but unlike many neckbeards, he wasn't malicious. He never stalked or harassed women or anything like that. The worst he ever got was annoying and condescending. Richard was reasonably neckbeardy in his appearance. He was about 5'8", on the chubbier side, but by no means overweight. He had short, dirty blonde hair, which I'm pretty sure he cut himself. Yeah, I mean both dirty blonde the color and dirty and blonde, as in two separate descriptions. His face was oily and bespeckled with acne, and he didn't shave, which left him with a wispy mustache and a few patchy hairs on his chin. Richard had no particular body odor, but sometimes smelled faintly of spoiled cheese. Ew. He wore the same black hoodie every day, which was often stained with food. Sometimes a whitish stain would appear on the stomach of the hoodie as well. I don't even want to speculate. Richard completed the outfit with sweatpants and the same pair of sneakers. I heard a rumor that Richard told one of his friends that he once went 4 weeks without changing his pants or his underwear. I don't know if that's true or not, but knowing Richard, I think it's entirely possible. I'm also pretty sure he wore the same sneakers every day for 4 years, and by the end of high school, they were basically falling apart. I should add that Richard's family was by no means wealthy, but they definitely had enough money to get him new clothes. Guess he just didn't want them. At lunch, Richard would sit with about 3 or 4 of his friends, all varying degrees of weird, but Richard was certainly the leader, and the most neckbeardy out of all of them. Each day, Richard ate 3 to 4 bowls of instant ramen, sometimes augmented with Doritos or Cheetos. I never saw him drink Mountain Dew, but he did enjoy Red Bull and Coca-Cola. God, I hate Red Bull. Richard was neckbeardy in not only his appearance, but his personality. I know a lot of neckbeards think of themselves as very intelligent, euphoric, if you will, but Richard actually was very smart. He took a lot of AP math and science classes, and he always had really good grades. The problem was that Richard would rub his intelligence in everyone's face. When someone got an answer wrong in class, Richard would make a comment like, "I knew that," or, "Well, you should have just called him B." On the other hand, when Richard got a question wrong, which admittedly wasn't very often, he would get very, very angry and either argue with the teacher or just sit there and sulk. One time, he made our history teacher flip through several textbooks to prove that Richard was wrong about some random fact. Richard was also a proud atheist, and he looked down on anyone who was religious. Oh, I know the type. Richard thought that anyone who believed in God was a complete idiot, and he would enlighten them with his scientific wisdom. Richard called religion Broad's Edge fairy tales, and would go on rants about thermodynamics and the Big Bang to his unfortunate victims. Richard was also obsessed with nihilism and Friedrich Nietzsche, and would sometimes say edgy nihilistic quotes like, "Pain and happiness are equally meaningless." Another of Richard's favorites was Nietzsche's famous quote, "God is dead, God remains dead, and we killed him." Looking back, I wonder if the reason that he refused to shave his mustache was that he was trying to look like Nietzsche. I don't know, maybe it's just a thought, but either way. It was not only his looks and personality that made him beardy, but also his actions. Richard and his weird friends got in trouble multiple times for sparring in the hallway or the courtyard, all while yelling at each other in Japanese, or more accurately, making vaguely Japanese-sounding noises at each other. Indeed, Richard seemed to truly think he descended from ninjas, or maybe samurai. I'm not sure. To be perfectly clear, his family's Polish. He wasn't even remotely Asian. One of my friends lived near Richard and said that he walked past Richard's house one day and saw Richard and his friends in ninja costumes fighting with plastic swords. At one point, Richard got an actual katana on Amazon and made YouTube videos of him in his backyard cutting water bottles, fruit, and other things in half with his new sword. I just looked as I'm writing this, and the videos are still up. I'd post the link in a heartbeat if it didn't mean doxing him. There are several, however, but one in particular stands out in my mind. It features Richard standing behind a table in his ninja costume holding his katana, and one of his friends places a watermelon on the table. Richard raises the katana above his head, and with a slow "ha!" he then pauses for a half second before swinging the katana down with a loud yell, splitting the watermelon in half. Richard then sheaths his blade and bows deeply to his fallen adversary as a gong sound plays in the background. There are several others, but the sheer absurdity of this one makes it stand out to me. That is quite special. Unlike many neckbeards, Richard didn't harass women. In fact, I don't think he ever had a conversation with any of his female classmates, except for when he was assigned to work with them. There is one notable thing that happened involving a female classmate, though. One of the girls in school noticed that more than once they would receive notifications at 1 or 2 in the morning that Richard had liked photos of them in bikinis on Instagram. One can only wonder what he was doing looking at bikini photos of his classmates on Instagram at 1 or 2 in the morning. There are more things that Richard did that I'm not really sure how to fit into a cohesive story, so here's just kind of a list of notable events. Richard was caught watching Japanese porn on his phone in history class in sophomore year. Richard apparently thought that Australia was in Europe. Not Austria, Australia. Richard had a job at a local fast food place, but got fired for calling a customer a mongoloid. Oh, classy. Richard mixed some chemicals in the chemistry lab and started a small fire. When questioned, he said it was an accident, but I'm 95% sure that he knew what he was doing. Nobody could prove anything, though, so he didn't get in trouble. Ultimately, Richard and I graduated high school. I haven't seen him since. I checked on social media, and Richard just finished his master's degree in electrical engineering this year. Like I said, he actually is really smart, so that doesn't particularly surprise me. His profile picture is a picture of a ninja, though, so maybe he hasn't really grown up all the way yet. I don't know. Oh boy. Yeah, the fedora is strong with this one, my friend. And this is an interesting story. Mainly because it's not often we get to talk about the specific thing that certain neckbeards are super into, which is their highly intelligent atheist mindset. Like, the best way I've been able to describe this, because I have some friends who are devout Baptist and don't know that they're, because they don't interact with a lot of atheists aside from myself, so they're not aware that there is like a, not an official, but like a weird deviation. The best way I've described it is, to the Baptist church there is Westboro Baptist, which in no way represents the Baptist church at all. They're crazy, they do crazy things, they're absolute lunatics, and most Baptists think that they are, in fact, nuts. Which is totally understandable, because they are. These people, these I'm so intelligent because I'm an atheist, so full of themselves, that's our Westboro. Somehow they're always the ones that are on TV, or always the ones that wind up on, like, videos, and they're always euphoric with their intelligence, and they're so much smarter than everybody else. Like, dude, nobody gives a fuck if you don't believe in God. It's fine. Whatever. Like, they all really want to be the kind of internet philosopher that has debates with creationists, except that, most of them who act like this are, like, between the ages of, like, 13 and 20. So, no. and nobody gives a shit. If it isn't already obvious, I am also an atheist, but I'm a big believer that you don't have to be a douchebag to be one, and there are a lot of them who are. There's a lot of writings and things like that I don't agree with the tone. Like, for example, I've read The God Delusion, and, okay, interesting points, but I'm not a huge fan of the tone. I don't really feel like you need to talk down to people just because they believe in something, that's a little much, dude. There's really no need for that. And that's exactly what guys like this do. It's all about, I'm so smarter than everybody else. And granted, obviously he is quite intelligent, but being smart does not make you charismatic or relatable or understanding. It's a reason why it's two different stats in games like Fallout. Because you can be incredibly intelligent and have the charisma of a fucking piece of plywood. And that's kind of what's going on here. This kid is just, well, we say kid because it's an older story, but this dude is, from the description of this, just somebody who is just so full of themselves and so much smarter and better than everyone. And I don't really understand the ninja thing, but I knew a Neckbeard when I was younger who was like super into ninjas too, like to the point that he also had a costume, and it was very weird. I never understood it, but okay. So, yeah, this was an interesting story. I really do hope the dude kind of grew out of all that shit, but, sometimes they don't. Either way, thank you for sharing it with us, oh deleted user, and thank you all for being here. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to support this channel, I have a Ko-Fi, which you can donate to, and I have a merch store which you can buy stuff from. Both of these really help out the channel. And I have my own subreddit if you'd like to send in your own stories, r/Moonhorse stories. Drop it there and I'll definitely take a look. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye, everybody.